Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunt Azardo Playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich. Sunday wild card game, NFC, Green Bay at Arizona. Green Bay 33-7 win in Week 17. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie gets banged up. Anquan Bolden gets banged up for the Cards. Kurt Warner goes out the game. Matt Leinart finishes. Green Bay has owned the Cardinals. When they match up here, it's a good matchup for the Pack. What are your keys to victory?
I look at the matchup between, I hate bringing up preseason football in regular season time, but if you look at the third preseason game, when these two teams met, same elements in the preseason, starters play a full half, the Packers were up 36-10. They match up real well against that secondary for the Cardinals. So that leads me to my keys to victory number one. Spread out the Cardinals and attack Mike Adams in coverage. The third cornerback is the key matchup in this game. They have they're good wide receivers 1 through 4. So the Cardinals aren't good in the secondary 1 through 4. So you want to attack the slot receiver. Plus, you don't know how healthy Rodgers-Cromartie is, because in that preseason game, he was getting abused by Jennings as well as Driver. So you want to attack that secondary, spread these guys out and bomb it out. Even if you look back in that preseason game, Rodgers was still on fire. You know, almost 80% of his passes were completed, and he was just throwing strikes down the field over 105 passer rating. So continue to attack that secondary. 2, pound these guys with the running game. You see Ryan Grant is looked explosive in the recent weeks. He's finding his stride. He sneaked in quietly, got 1,000 yards this season because of his last week's effort. In the last couple of games, he's been stringing along some nice runs. Burst through the hole. I like Ryan Grant.
O-line's playing a lot better.
That's vastly underrated. That's the biggest key. They get Tauscher back.
Yeah.
So that is a huge element to the game. And that's going to help that run game, because you know Calais Campbell also got banged up in that matchup last week as well, too. So how healthy is Calais Campbell? How healthy is that secondary? And they're going to run the football in Green Bay. That's a key matchup. Third, defensively, they got to disrupt Warner's timing. You know the 3-4 defense is aggressive, and you know Clay Matthews is making his case for Rookie of the Year, can get after the quarterback. They're going to have to frustrate Warner and make him get that ball in his hand quick.
And if the Cards want to stop the Pack on offense, it starts with DRC and McFadden slowing down. You can't stop him, only hope to contain him, Jennings and Driver, with Rodgers throwing them the ball. Now, the Cardinals, last year, no running game going into the playoffs. As soon as the playoffs start, they averaged almost 100 yards per game on the ground. Will it be the same? Chris Beanie-Wells has showed some promise these last few weeks. Will that offensive line start run blocking again like it did last year that led to the Super Bowl?
Well, you hope so, because you look at the running game, they can run the football if they choose to. They have talented tailback in Beanie-Wells. Hightower, when he holds onto the football, can move the chains as well. So they have to continue feeding Beanie-Wells. That's going to shrink the game, shrink the possessions for the Packers, because they get the ball back, they're going to score. So the Cardinals want to limit their possession and become more of a balanced team, and that's going to help out. They do have a big offensive line in Arizona. Run the rock with Beanie-Wells. His quickness is unquestioned. His also power, and he runs behind his pass. That's going to help out a lot this matchup. That's a hidden element that you need to look for. Second, I look at the defense for the Cardinals. Can they get pressure? They really neutralized Darnell Dockett last week in this matchup, so they're going to have to get pressure on Rodgers and play contain, get pushed. Don't fly up the field, because Rodgers is athletic, like Romo, like Vince Young, or like McNabb. They can move in the pocket and move well outside the pocket. Rodgers is that type of athlete and can still make accurate throws on the run. So you want to get pushed and not pressure. You want to collapse the pocket. So it's up to the defense to get pressure up front. Third, they're going to have to be ready to play ball. You look at their third receiver, Jordy Nelson. Can they match up well with the third receiver? And they have a third receiver in Bresson that can also play big-time ball himself. So they're going to have to attack the Packers' third corner in coverage as well, because Woodson is going to be matched up all over the field. They're going to move him around and lock up whoever he's covering, whoever the assignment draws. So they're going to really have to attack their secondary in the passing game. It's going to be a fun game to watch, too, but I like Green Bay in this matchup. I think Green Bay matches up well with Arizona, top to bottom.
We talked about Green Bay's wide receivers, Fitzgerald, Bolden, Breston, and Ben Patrick. They're going to go against the opportunistic secondary led by Charles Woodson. I know they're young, but they make plays, and Dom Capers is going to rush Kurt Warner. He's going to put pressure on with Clay Matthews, Brad Jones, some rookies coming off the edge. and they're going to want to get after Kurt Warner, not let him sit back there and try to pick them apart.
Well, one thing, the way to neutralize pressure, we say it every week, is to run right at it. The Cardinals hold the wild card in this situation. They have a talented running game with two talented tailbacks. Do not be afraid to run the ball with that big offensive line against those light outside linebackers in that 3-4 front. The best formation is in this situation is the ace formation with those two tight end sets. Run right at it. That's going to stretch out the 3-4 defense, thus limiting its effectiveness to rush around the edges, and they should be able to have some success running the football if they get to it and stick with it.
Yeah, I like what Capers is bringing to the table. I'm going to take the Packers, but by a Mason Crosby field goal at the end of the game. It's going to be real close.
This is going to be
matchup.
a good matchup for the.
A lot of electrifying players
Right.
on the outside. You know, Warner and Rodgers have been bringing it with the pass game, so we'll see what defense can get after the quarterback faster.
This is going to be a long game. You're going to see a lot of passes thrown, so it's going to be a long game.
Cardinals front has been playing well also. Let's not forget about them.
Right.
For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL.